Kersey, let everybody know how you're doing.
No, fantastic. How are you, Erica Bates?
Fabulous. Why
I look
not?
yellow. I look yellow. I'm trying to fix this light, but anyway, I'd rather be in my own studio, but I had to show up anyway. And if I turn it
I'm
off,
glad. I mean, because it doesn't matter what you look like because you always have the knowledge that people want to know. So yeah, as long as we can hear you, I think we're gonna be good.
all right, cool.
Don't be disappointed.
Well,
So
I'm
I
always
asked Elle to come here and hang out with us today because she's going to be a part of the virtual event producers leveling up workshop on the 19th and 20th. She's actually going to be one of the co-hosts, and I am really proud to have her be here with us because, like I said, she's very generous with her information, her knowledge. Not sure if you're going to get too much of her time, but while we have her here, let's talk to her about EK Media. So,
oh my goodness.
Elle, can you tell us about EK Media?
Can you hear that? It's a
Nope.
plane or helicopter. Okay, I was like, oh my God, really? It sounds like it's like right outside this window. Okay, EK Media. EK Media started out with it as a desire for me to have the type of marketing, the quality of marketing, and the innovation. Like innovation is kind of like my part of my DNA is just creating. And so what I wanted to do was figure out how to get like the best of the best services for small businesses without it costing, the exorbitant money that it usually costs to get the quality that top level businesses, right, have, like major corporations, right? So one of the things, the first products that we had was or is streaming live and professional broadcasting on Roku, Fire, Apple, Chrome TV, and the ability to broadcast on a professional level on any platform, whether it's in person or virtual. So that was our first product. And then during COVID, we pivoted into doing more virtual events because we couldn't be together. So there was no live. And then just like everybody else, we realized that it was much more effective and more impactful to be able to do virtual events because you didn't have the overhead and the limitations of in person, and you could have way more people from around the world that were able to attend your virtual events versus your in-person events. So we do that. And then we also do all the support marketing things and we customize them for each individual. So none of our programs are cookie cutter. It's based on what your goals are, what your interests are, what your skill set is, and where you'd like to go. So we try to build opportunities for people to start where they are, but to grow quickly into where they want to be.
Sounds nice. So another reason, I think I may have said this before, but I asked you here because this is the pre-event show for the virtual event producers leveling up. I know you help people set up their own shows, their own programs, and you do the run a show. I hate making the run a show, by the way, and I love that you do that. So can you tell us what is like working with a client, setting up a show, a virtual show, or getting ready to set up a virtual event? Those first steps, the pre-event.
Okay, so every show should be broken up into a pre, during, and post, right? And so there's a lot of things that go into creating any type of video, first of all, because you have to have your motion graphics, you have to have your sound bites, you have to have you're constantly doing like sound check quality, because if people can't hear you, understand you, then there's kind of pointless to do the event. And then there's all the other visuals that you have to do. You have to have in place marketing for all your guests, because people are busy and they're running their businesses, and they're working in their expertise. So you need to help them to easily be able to market their portion of the event, right? So the reason why you have different people on your platform as part of your event is so that they can help you get more attendees. So by having someone to market easily will help you get more people to attend. So the more work that you do ahead of time will make your event run smoothly. So you're doing all kinds of tech walkthroughs. You're doing putting all the right people in place based on what the client needs. So if it's like say if you have like a one-man show, so to speak, but they're trying to put together an event that takes at least 4 or 5 people to run, then you need to be able to supply those other 4 people. And also, and every all of my clients, I always encourage them to learn through the process, because nobody wants to be beholden to anything. And I'm a real big proponent of that. So you need to learn as much about your process as possible, even if you aren't doing or planning on doing whatever it is. You still need to know what the process is.
Yep. You know, I gotta say this. Elle thinks all of this is normal. The motion graphics, the writing out your goals, the walking you through the tech checks. You know, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just show up and let it go. Elle has a process. Elle has a system. Elle has a a standard operating procedure, and I like that.
Oh, thanks, Erica. I mean, it's even like when we first started. Remember when we first started doing live events, and we had like Air Meet, right? So we're using Air Meet, and there were like so many people. So okay, so it's not like this now, but when AirMeet first came out, it was very tech heavy, and you had to have a certain amount of this and a certain amount of that to be able to get on there. And then if you didn't have this, then you needed to be able to do a tech check to be able. Sorry, put my hand in front of the screen. You have to be able to do a tech check and all this different stuff ahead of time, so that when the event happened, you know what your limitations were and what you needed to be doing during that event, right? So that was a big deal. So we came up with the concierge position, where if you can't get onto the platform, then you go on to, everybody was using Zoom then, so you go onto Zoom or to some other platform so that we can help you walk through what tech problems you're having. And that was pretty amazing and innovative. It helped a lot of people back then be able to utilize the platform. Now is way easier and less tech cumbersome. But you know, those types of things you have to be able to think of on the fly. You can't just like once you have that issue, you need you. Well, I can say this. Once you know that you have an issue, you need to be able to. Sorry, I got a call. Once you have a tech issue, you have to be able to make a solution that is going to always make that problem not be a problem, right? So that's just kind of how I think about it. So most of our SOPs are all based on problems and issues that we've encountered over time, and how we were able to overcome them. So I think that, you know, having an experienced professional help you with your live streams or any production is important.
I gotta ask, what has the most common problem you've seen? What is that, or what was that?
I think the most common problem is that people think that, oh, I've seen this happen. Oh, I watch podcasts or I watch shows, and I think that I can do it too. And they don't know all the work that goes on behind the scene, and they also don't know um, how valuable the pre-work is. That's really, your pre-work is always going to make or break your show. If you're going to have sponsors, like, if you're going to have, what type of sponsors, right? And what does your pitch deck look like? There's a whole lot of things that go into doing a podcast or having a show. And yes, of course, you can just start off easy and just like, well, I seen somebody do it, I'm gonna try it. But you're going to have a huge learning curve, and you're going to make so many mistakes, and you're going to lose a lot of money. And yes, you can definitely figure it out like all the rest of us did, but it may or may not be successful, and you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants when you don't have to.
So I've learned the hard way that it's a good thing to ask for help. If help is available, ask for help and you will receive help. And I have had the honor of working with Elle on projects, so I know that good help is available.
And
Oh, so another thing you said about people are live streaming or more on I guess social platforms now. I've seen just last year a lot of organizations are not live streaming. They kind of have a website, and when I say kind of, they have a Facebook page, and that's it. And I would hate to call myself a company or an organization and be at the mercy of Facebook saying, I'm tired of you, I don't want you on my platform no more. So yeah.
well,
Because
that
that
is
has
a big,
happened.
yes, but you also know that is a big pet peeve of mine, right? Is to have people put in their livelihood and their reach into the hands of the fickleness of a platform that they don't control. I would say probably many years ago, I used to build apps. I know people, I don't build apps anymore, so don't call me because I'm doing it. But I used to build apps, um, and the reason why I wanted to build apps was because I felt like, oh my goodness, people, because there's always been these things, right? So you have people who have lost their whole businesses, they've lost their whole connection to their audience, and the audience is also upset because they can't find that information anymore and that community anymore, because the platform decided that you got too big for your britches. Or you don't meet their community standards, which they just published and they never told you about, or you are potentially making more money in your community without giving them a cut because you've built these relationships. And so having an app, if you can get a good app or find an app developer, I see them all the time, or on your own website. Okay, that is where you want to have your community come. So you pay for ads that and get people interested in what you're offering, and you let them know what's going on. But at the earliest opportunity, you want to have them to step off of that platform onto your digital property, which you own, and nobody's going to shut off unless you don't pay your hosting fees. Okay. So, but that's essentially what you want to do, because if you constantly and only count on, okay, TikTok, for example, And then right now there's a rumor that Facebook is going to start charging people to have a profile. I don't know what they're doing. And then there's another thing where there was at one point they were saying that they weren't going to let just anybody go live. And that was a problem. And I don't know why they didn't do that. Because that was a pretty bold move, but then they got sued, and then I guess that went away, and then now it's the Meta or whatever. So, and then what's the difference? Like now that Facebook has become Meta, right? Every change in a corporation takes time, like for them to roll out their changes that's going to affect their audience. Now what? We don't know what, because we have no clue what Meta is going to be.
Yeah. So, are you a fan of Meta? Are you a fan of hosting events on the platform of Meta? Not just Facebook, like in the metaverse.
There's a lot going on out there, and I want to say that it is a step away from everybody should have access to the internet, because first of all, the headset costs $400 or $500. So you have to have that money to be able to spend. You also have to have a computer that is capable of working that particular modality, because you have to have a minimum of a gaming computer, and then you also have to have something that is I would say more robust, right? So you need a enhanced gaming computer to be able to do all the different things. And again, so money, right? So and then you also have to have the internet speed and bandwidth to be able to take part. So now for people who, it's like making that barrier again, right? It's making that barrier between the have and the have nots again, right? So we're doing that. And then we're also creating a problem for people who live in rural areas, who maybe money's not the issue, but they don't have the bandwidth. So you got people who are on satellite and all that. So that's a problem. So am I a fan? I'm never a fan of anything that creates disparity between people. As a geek and somebody who can afford to get, that, yes, it's awesome. But so there's I have just a two-sided viewpoint of the situation.
Okay. So there's a saying, something like, if you spend money, or if you're in a group that spends money, you're more likely to spend money. So this is how hosting an event in a metaverse would automatically cut out the freebie seekers, I assume. I know you're not supposed to assume, but I'm assuming that.
I think that you're gonna have a higher economic value of your audience based on the fact that you have to have all those four predecessors, right, to be even able to get there. So you're not going to have people who are broke, right, able to access your metaverse stuff. So it's just kind of how it is. It's I don't know if they are gonna have, I don't know. The only way that I know that you can get on there is if you have an Oculus. And if you don't have an Oculus, you can't be part of the metaverse. I don't know if they have one where you can get on without having that Oculus. And there's no place, like the library doesn't have an Oculus that you can go borrow.
I'm thinking someone could share their screen and you could tag along, but you can't go off and do your own thing. It's like you're one of those tablet buddies that someone's in an in-person event and they're wearing a tablet around their neck showing you around. So you don't get to pick where you're going. That's all I
and
see.
you're not having the immersive experience, right? So either, because the headsets have like vibrations and ambient sounds and all kinds of stuff, and you got the glasses on, or the goggles, I guess they call it, and your senses are tricking you that you are in this another space, which is why you see all the people running into walls and all kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of like, if you can't afford an Oculus, but you used to have a Wii, and you know how with the Wii, like you can just like swing the handset like a bowling ball, right? And so you just
Hmm.
roll that thing, and it's um it's one step away from reality, because you aren't really throwing the ball, but you're making all the motions like you are.
Hmm.
And then so now you're going to take another step away from reality into where not only because the second version or some later version of we, like instead of it just being a thing in your hand, like that thing used to vibrate. You
Hmm.
remember, you could feel that. And so then it gave you a whole nother level of sensation. And so then so then you had it where you could get like put it on the big screen TV. And
Hmm.
so now you're having even more of an immersive experience. So then now you're going to take a whole nother like multi many steps back, and you got the audible, the headset vibrates, you got the things in your hand too. So it's a whole lot going on, right? And so you're tricking your body into having experiences that is not actually having. So the whole concept is huge. It's like a huge step. I don't think that little kids should do it though. I know I see them all the time, but little kids' brains just shouldn't be part of the metaverse, because they don't even know what reality really is in versus TV. So that's like
Yeah.
a whole another space.
My 8-year-old watches a cartoon show called The Cruise, and
Mhm.
he drew all the animals in that cartoon, and he likes another video game called Trevor Noah's World, something like that. And we make cutout of the cruise animals that he drew, and I put them on those landscapes that he made of the Trevor Noah World. And he says they can't go here. I was like, why not? And he says because these are animals and these are aliens. I'm like, neither one of them is real. He's like, yes, they are, because I saw them on the show. And I was like, it's a cartoon. That's a dead giveaway that it's not real. He's like, yes, they are. I was like,
Exactly.
oh, okay.
Exactly. So that's literally what, yeah, I don't think kids, but no little kid can pay $500 for a headset. So I imagine,
Little kids are very good at getting money out of parents.
but yeah, but you know, as a parent, you know, I am not here to give y'all parenting advice. I'm sorry. But anyway, we're here to
My
talk
kid does
about
not
why
have
you
an
should,
Oculus.
yeah. It's interesting. So you know, when it comes to platforms, right? So and then think about it. You paid $500 for Oculus. They came out with Oculus Rift, Oculus this, Oculus that. Now they got this new Oculus. There's nothing like the original. I mean, it's the same similar technology as the original, except it doesn't have, it's not wired, right? And it's not this, it's not that. And I'm just kind of like, okay, so really? You know, now you're gonna take something that you paid $500 for, and I'm used to technology moving and things changing, but for $500 for, I know I keep saying $500, and to some people $500 is not a lot of money. To some people $500 is a lot of money. I think for a toy, $500 is a lot of money, and it should last a few years, and you should be able to get a lot out of it. So, um, in the situation where you have so many opportunities to um, make different decisions
Yeah.
about what you're going to do with your business, with your, because if your target market is more affluent, right, and more focused on tech, right, then investing that $500 is different than just spending $500 to play games, which is what I did. Because so now in my defense, the reason why I bought it was because my girlfriend Shelly was going on and she was like avatar, and I didn't want to be on screen. Like that just was my thing. I'm like, I don't really want to be on screen on me on TV. And so she had an avatar, and she could draw something and add it to her clothes or her head or whatever. And it was really funny and it was engaging. And I thought it was super cool. And I was like, oh, I want to do that too. She was the one who told me about Oculus and all that. And so then I go out and I get one. And then they took the whole Facebook integration of the Oculus away. Completely took it away. After I had spent like several days, and y'all know, like, I don't waste my time. Like, my time is my time, right? So the fact that I had spent several days learning how to use this thing, and just for them to be like, deuces, we out, I was like, really? So I ended up playing like some game with Darth Vader chasing me, and so it just became like a toy, and I was irritated with it. So that's how come I just haven't like moved into that space again. But because it's Zakia, hi Zakia Ringo. The metaverse will probably be part of my 2023. Because I did purchase one. I do like it. I just need to see what has transpired in the time frame.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about a lot of things. And then when I talked to Zakia, it's like, oh, now I want to try it. Like she's very good at getting me into things. But I like that about her though.
She always getting us in trouble.
I want to say shout out to Patrick Jackman of the Jackman Group, who says, good morning, Erica and Elle. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Patrick.
Good morning, Eric. I mean, Erica, Patrick, and the Jackman Group.
Yeah. So we're talking about pre-event. So I'm not sure. I know you talked about having your goals, and I know you talked about run a show. What's the first thing you do with your pre-flight checklist when you're doing the pre-event things? What do you do to get your clients ready to work with you? Or how do you know you want to work with that client? Let me start with that.
I pick my clients based on what impact they want to make, right? So I think there's so many opportunities to okay, so I get a lot of people who ask me to help them with stuff. And most of the time I'm like, okay, so I'll help you with this, but you should be able to take it from here. But when I'm actually like gonna like create a whole situation for somebody, it's because I actually believe in them and what they are, what I believe that they should be, that they will be able to accomplish, right? And so I always kind of take my time and I dig in. I ask lots of questions, like, what's not only what's your business goal, but what's your personal goals? And then I'm like, okay, so do they match up? And how do I need to bridge those things together so that the person is able to move along and sustain themselves, right? So because I really have this thing about employee. Like, I don't want you to be my employee. I don't want to be your guru, right? I want you to be able to, because if I can learn how to do it, so can you, right? You just have to kind of have the mindset that this is important enough for my life and this is important enough for my business that I'm willing to do the work to make the match so that I can move forward in my purpose effectively. So that's how I see it. That's how I pick my clients.
Okay. Have you ever found yourself having more faith or belief in a person's ability than they have in themselves? And how do you work through that if you've seen it?
Yes, because I am the eternal optimist, right? Always like I can see potential in people, but then a lot of times people just either don't want to do the work or they don't believe in themselves, or I believe in them more than I can't believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And I really wanted to, I didn't, how can I say, what I learned over this last year of working with clients is that people say things that don't match their actions. Right. So I was like, okay, so now that I know that, I have another layer, right, of decision making on who clients I take based on, okay, so I'm gonna give you a list of things to do before we even decide that we're gonna be clients. I'm gonna work with you, right? Those list of things will help you to achieve your goals, but you have to do them, not me. Yeah. Because I always find that I have done 99% of the work and they're still like, what we gonna do? And I'm like, okay, what do you mean what we gonna do? Like all and I think it's because people don't know, like a motion graphic is not something that just falls from the sky.
It does when you get Elle to do it for you. It just appears. Yes, I've seen it happen.
but that's my point, right? But it's like I'm spending my time doing it. I mean, even like a logo or brand colors or anything, we do things like speaker one sheets and the posts for your graphics, like the post, like when you're going to make a social media post, if you want to have branded posts, we make those and like try to make them kind of cohesive and give and help you get your creativity right. And because it's just like a bunch of different things. And then to animate your logo, right? I've done that for clients, and that's pretty great because you can use that all the time. And you want to talk about something that's going to like make somebody stop. If your video is playing, then all of a sudden your logo starts moving. You're like, what is that?
So yeah, I gotta point out this one thing that you do that everybody do not do, and I can't stand it. When you create your graphics, you put the date, the time, and where it's gonna be. And you would think that is like normal stuff, and everybody do not do it. They just have a picture and they have their logo, and that's it. And they'll have their picture as the biggest thing because that's the most important part. But no, it's not. It's actually the date and time.
yes, absolutely.
Because I love that you know that and that you use that.
Oh, thanks, Erica. But that's the thing. It's like we spend so much time because it's ego. Ego will make you miss the point of everything, right? It will, because it's like, you need to see how cute I look today. I'm like, okay, you look cute today. I'm glad you look cute. How much that's going to pay you? Because nobody knew why you was looking cute, right? You don't went got your makeup done. You don't got your hairs laid. You don't got them eyelashes like 5,000 feet long. You don't bought you, you got your Louis Vuitton suit, and you got perfume on, smelling good for yourself, right? And you done the thing. You look good, but your graphic is just a picture of you, and it might have a title, might not. but nobody knows why you took the picture.
Yeah.
Other
Yep.
than you're going to get 100 likes, but nobody knows, like, I went and did all this, so I want you to come to my event.
Yeah.
Right? What's the event? I don't know. Where is it? I don't know. How I get there? I don't know. I don't know. I have missed so many events that I would have attended because all it was the information, one, that is an event. How about that? How about to start with that? How about that, Erica? We got a graphic. And it doesn't even say this graphic is an invitation to something, right? What is it? Nobody
Tell the
knows.
people what it is.
Yes, come on now. Be
Yeah.
part of, like, the whole thing is it's a communication. That's like having a business card without having like your company name on it, or the phone number, or the email address, or
Yeah.
what you want the person to do when they get there, right? So that's another thing. Like when I design business cards always have a call to action on them. I don't understand why people make business cards without a call to action on it. I think that's crazy.
People still using business cards.
Yeah, people do. But even if you do a virtual business card, your virtual business card should have on there a call to action, because the person who has the card is not going to remember you necessarily, right? And so if it's like if you have a if you are at an event and you meet someone and you want them to remember to go to your website and click this link specifically, because you already told them about your business, you already told them whatever, right? So now that they've met you, because they have your business card, what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, it's like, I don't remember. So if you don't say, go on there, when you get to the website, click this link to watch the video to remind, so I can remind you of who I am. I think that should be a good landing page. I think we're gonna start adding that to websites. Like, if you've met me in person, click this link.
Okay.
Don't you think that'd be a good idea?
It's definitely a good idea for a segmentation for your email list. So yeah.
Yeah, but still, even okay. So if we just met, we were talking about EK Media, or somebody watched this video and we're talking about EK Media, but they don't need to know, well, what we did in the past and all that kind of stuff, what we do, because they already told them on here. So if you saw me in person, or you saw me on the show, click this link, because then I can like engage you directly based on what I know that you already know about me. Ooh, that's gonna be so good, Erica. Ooh, that's
I
gonna
can
be a
see that
good.
working.
Oh my gosh, I think everybody need to have that. Yeah, y'all allowed to steal that. Go ahead, steal. Y'all steal everything else anyway.
You can see that for individual landing pages also. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of like the same. It's a landing page for people who you already engage with, right? So yeah, because it's like, you know, if you and so the video, it would be a video. I believe it should be a video, because you've already made that human connection. So why send them back to ink? So, you would say something like, if you're watching this video, you specifically have one for your business card. If you're watching this video, you got my business card from me directly, or somebody passed it on to you. So let me welcome you to my world and explain to you what's going on and how I can help you. Right. I think that would be awesome.
Okay. As long as it's not a link tree, I'm good.
Oh, they need a link tree, Erica, when they got your card, or you got their card, or they have your card already. You don't need a link tree. It's like it's like you're able to continue the conversation without making them start from zero. I think, because I'm always like trying to, like, I'm always talking about innovation. So the thing is okay, so what's a better next step than what we've gotten over the years, right? So a better next step is, you know what, we met in person. If you aren't going to call me directly because you want to see some more information or you want to be reminded, right, of the conversation that we had and why you took my business card in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there you go. So it's instead of them, because most websites have multiple pieces of data, and a communication directly from a person versus reading something is different because it's different interpretation of what's going on. So websites can be, I feel websites are cold. And the thing that made you reach out or made you want more information is the connection that you made with the person. So I don't know. I'm gonna try that. I'm like, I'm like, Erica, we're gonna get this done today, right? We're gonna make this today.
I do believe it will be done today. I want to shout out Pam Harrison, who's with us on Facebook, and Zakia Ringo, who says, "Hi, Elle and Erica, happy Thursday." And she says, "Great point on ego." I wonder, has it ever helped you achieve any of your goals or anything you wanted to do, or is it a hindrance? Because it's got to be there for a reason.
I think that ego is a protective mechanism, right? It is a protective mechanism that allows you to feel that you can accomplish things regardless of, or, I would say it is a natural human response to feel insecure.
Oh.
And because you don't know what other people know, you don't know where you fall in the range of things when you're comparing yourself to other people. So ego wouldn't exist if we didn't compare ourselves to other people. But when you're comparing yourself to other people and you're trying to decide, how to show up, then that's where you're going to have that, where you need your ego to help you kind of push through the barrier that you might feel that's usually not real. It's just kind of, I have to do something to make myself feel better than you so that I can move forward. Right. That's kind of how ego is. Right. And then you have your id and all those kind of things. But really, there's a lot of different pieces, right, that kind of make up this. It's like part of a it's like, so if you think about all these different pieces of your psyche as stepping stones to get into a place where you are mentally capable of feeling secure enough to do what you need to do regardless of things. So, you have and these are all just concepts. They're not factual. Like, we talk about ego as if it's a real thing, and it's not really. It's just a concept that somebody came up with to explain these different phenomena that we go through. And the characteristics that we give to them are just based on somebody's idea, which is not necessarily correct. It's just a way that we can talk about these things in a group. So you are responsible for yourself at all times, regardless. And you have to keep your subconscious mind in its place, because it's like your basic is always going to be fight or flight. Now it's fight, flight, or freeze, right? So, and we're learning more about the human psyche as we go, and all different kinds of stuff. And so there's all different new types of constructs that make it possible for us to just kind of explain our ridiculous behaviors, right? And so, and then once you understand, like, your ego, for example, then you realize, well, I don't have to be in competition with other people. It's like there's plenty. And then I think ego is fed by the concept that there's scarcity. Well, we know that there's no scarcity. And depending on why you believe there's no scarcity, or you believe that there is scarcity, then you function in that controlled environment.
It's like, wow. I was hoping that you were going to give me something that says ego is helpful. It's usually always got me in trouble. I'm always like so confident that I know what I know, and that what I know can help you move your business forward. So I always meet these people who say, can't afford it, but if you just do it, and it's like, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I do this, and this, and it works like this. And it's like, oh yeah, it works. Thanks. Bye. Or they'll come back and say, hey, you remember that time you did that? Can you do it again? Because yeah, for free.
No.
And it's like, or they'll point out something that didn't quite work as well, but it worked. But they say if you just do it just a little tweak, it will work even better. And you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. And you do it, and then like, got away with it again. Like, I fell for it again. So it's like, for me, that's my ego getting in the way of falling for working for free, because I just know what I know can do other things. I'm a big fan of cause and effect, and fall for it every time. Hopefully not anymore.
Well, I'm always on you about that, so you won't get to fall for it anymore. But that's the thing. It's like, when but that's the thing about learning about yourself, and that's the thing about maturing and growing up, right? People will always try to, not always, people will take advantage of you if you are not aware and you allow it. I don't know if they intend to initially, or even if they intend to at all, or even if they see that they're taking advantage of you, or not. And your ego is like, well, I got this, and I did this, and I did that, and da 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 da. But your presence of mind needs to be that you have to take care of yourself. You have to be ready and responsible for yourself also. So you can't just give away everything that you know and everything that you do, because if you're always pouring into somebody, okay, so if you're always pouring into somebody else's bucket, then yours get empty and nobody's poured back into yours. I saw this video of this person showing that, and Jeff Akers, who's also my partner in EK Media, he has this explanation too about the same kind of concept where, so this lady had two glasses, and one was empty and one was they had the same amount of liquid and water in them, I guess equal, but the one person kept pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, and then they were empty. And then the other person, who was full now, refused to pour back into that person. I'm like, oh my God. And then, and Jeff's concept is, if you have a cap in a bottle, the cap can pour everything into the bottle, and the bottle won't even notice that the cap poured into it. And then if the bottle pours into the cap, it's going to overflow and overwhelm the cap. So that's the concept of being equally yoked. And you have to have somebody who can pour into you and you notice, versus pour into you and you don't notice. Mm. So, and that's how like all these things like run in place, because you're going to have like your ego's like, yeah, I'm a cap, but guess what? I can do this for this big bottle. And the bottle's like, yeah, yeah.
I can see that.
But so you're like, I can do this, I can do that. Well, yeah, what you're doing is great for your level or for your capacity, right? But you're giving your all, and it's not recognized, right? So so your ego's like ego. And then you have to go find something else to pour into you so that you can increase your capacity to be able to do. So that's like education, and like no longer like, now you first you was a cat that was small. Now you done got you some heat on you and you done expanded. Now you like, kind of, you know what I mean? So it's kind of the whole being aware of yourself, being willing to learn from your mistakes, grow from your mistakes, and take the mistakes as lessons so that in the future you don't work for free, Erica Bates.
Yep. So this makes me think about having your clients write out their goals, having a checklist for that client to be able to walk through and that can match up with their goals. So they can like, oh, we supposed to be here. And it's like, is that on your goals list? Because if it's not, we shouldn't veer from the path. And if we have that checklist, they'll know which step they need to be on and what's coming up next. So I can see
Yes.
those things working together with all you just said. So for everybody out there, I hope you got a good concept of what you can do for a pre-event, like not let your ego get in the way and don't work for free. And that there's help available.
And that you also should pre-plan. Like you need to make sure that you have your your during, and your post. That is like super, super important. I know we didn't talk about during and post, but your setup, you have to set yourself up for success. And yes, there's a lot to it. Yes, but if you don't do it, you will fall. Something's going to be off. It's not going to be right. And the worst part, the worst thing to me, when you've done all this work and or you have done your work, let's say, and you get to the place where you're trying to ask somebody to support you, whether it's be a speaker, or whether it's be a sponsor, or whether it's, giveaways, whatever you're doing. And they're sitting there, come to you, and they're like, they ask you questions, and you're just like, I don't know, or, I have to find out. And then they're like, well, come back to me because right now you have Cox. You don't have enough information for me to make a decision of whether or not to support you at this time.
Yeah.
And you're like, look, first of all, you're embarrassed. So let's talk about some ego right there. And then, and then you may have burned a bridge because people are going to be irritated with you for wasting their time. I know that I don't think anybody probably focuses on like not wasting time as much as I do. Just because I always have it. This is funny to me. At any given moment, I could be doing 10 other things. If I have taken the time to spend it with you, then I value you. I value you, right? And I want to be able to participate. So other people that are busy, who you're asking for money from for your event, right? If you waste their time that one time, you probably won't never let you back in because they're gonna be like, really? I didn't spend. I mean, I miss making X amount of money messing around with you, and you aren't even ready, to be sitting here right now. So don't burn bridges that you don't have to by not being prepared with your event. Because when you sitting in front of somebody and you're offering them an opportunity to be part of your event, they don't want to be part of your event because they like you. They want to be part of your event because they want to see how they're going to get an ROI on it. Right. Yep. So don't do it.
That is the
Get
point
ready.
of
Be prepared.
hosting an event, is to make a return on your investment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. So
That's a good
so
point.
do it. Get it together. Get it together.
All right. So you guys, Elle Kersey's going to be with us January 19th and 20th, and she's going to talk to you
Woo!
about stuff like pre-event, having your own platform, setting goals for yourself, checking your ego. Elle
Aw,
Kersey,
Erica.
let everyone
Don't
know,
scare them off.
let's scare them off. I
Don't
think
scare
this
them
stuff
off.
is important to level up your virtual event business,
It
to
is.
move
It
forward
really
in
is.
just your business. And like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't recognize what ego is, if you don't realize that you need to have your goals and actually write them out, if you don't realize you need a checklist to write down your standard operating procedures so you can share with your clients, some
Yeah.
people is like, what was that?
Yeah. Remember when we first started and I was like, we need speaker sheets. And we were talking about how it needs to be like a speaker post, right? So the main picture on there is them because they're going to share it because it's them, right? And it's like, I'm going to be speaking at this point, and these are the other things that's going on. And this is like the whole big picture. And we sent those out, and those are really successful. One, the speakers liked them, so they shared them, right? Because it was them, right? That's your ego, right there. And then it's also it went out to to their to their to their audience, to their mailing lists because of it. So it's really important to think these things through, and that's why I keep saying it's so important to work with someone. If you are trying to start a podcast, trying to start live streaming, and you want it to be effective, and you want it to be a big deal or a bigger deal, or you've been streaming. I mean, because I see lots of people who stream all the time, and they don't have a strategy. It's just them showing up on the screen, and sharing information with what their perceived audience is. And um it to me, there's a lack. There's never the call to action is minimal or very weak. The initial kind of why you need to be watching this particular live stream is never stated. And it's kind of like they got a wild hair up their hiney and they just decided to go live today, right? So that's essentially how it kind of went down. So I think that is way more important and way more valuable for um, people to have the opportunity to share what they need to share, clearly and simply and easily at all times, with their clients, with whomever, ahead of time.
Yeah, makes sense. It's good to have a plan.
Yeah, you need to be, but specifically for these types of things, you need to have, don't just go live to go live, and don't go live just to say you went live, and don't go live without a plan and a opportunity for ROI on it. Depending on what your situation is and what your goals are and what your goals are and what your plans are, it's important.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, like I said, everyone, this is Elle Kersey, who's going to be with us January 19th and 20th for the virtual event producers leveling up workshop. If you sign up, you may have an opportunity to get training from Elle that day and to network with Elle that day. So sign up, and for those who will join us tomorrow for the Virtual Summiteers Mastermind Group Masterclass, we will have Ian Foster talk to us about your business and your taxes. And you may also see Elle Kersey there as well. Elle, would you tell everyone your favorite social platform so they can connect with you?
Okay, so if you're going to connect with me on social, go to LinkedIn. That's just because Facebook is kind of messy right now, so I don't really know what's the deal with that. But LinkedIn is my favorite right now.
Okay.
I got that from Erica Bates, by the way, you guys.
I love
That's her
LinkedIn.
favorite. Yes. And LinkedIn has the cleanest way to kind of effectively communicate with people right now, and it's really, I think one of the fundamental functions of LinkedIn is really to connect people with communication versus just like all these crazy people in my DMs. I'm like, I don't even know how to I don't know how to get rid of that. If y'all saw, I keep thinking, oh, I should, if I just could make a copy of all these and just show people what is in my DMs, it would be the most hilarious little thing, a little thread. It's crazy. So don't DM me, go to LinkedIn, it's better. Because I don't even, I'm always afraid to even look in there because I never know what's going to be in there.
Wow.
But yeah, pictures. And I'm like, really? I didn't even know that people did that. Just, yeah. I was like, I had to call my girlfriend. I was like, did you do? She was like, yeah, that's the thing. I was like, ew, they aren't that pretty. I was like, they need to put some makeup on it or something. Contour that blicky out.
Well, everyone,
get some better lighting.
This has been the pre-event show with Elle Kersey. So we hope to see you guys January 19th and 20th for the virtual event producers leveling up workshop. I want to say thank you for your time, Elle Kersey.
You're welcome, Erica Bates. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.